Singapore is an active and key member of the Trans-Pacific Partnership that is currently on the way to fruition. As the US tries to win back a little dominance over Asia, it has highlighted as part of the TPP negotiations that participating countries limit support for state-owned enterprises, as well as give companies the right to sue the government directly. Now, my question is, how does this play out for Singapore in the long run and our domestic interests in protecting jobs at home? Thank you.
Well, you have studied this in detail, which is as it should be for an NJC student.
Thank you.
She's coming to SMU now.
As an aspiring diplomat, I would love to have the opportunity to study overseas
And you're right,
and serve Singapore.
What you have named are two of the issues which are on the negotiating table. SOEs, state-owned enterprises, and what rules should apply to them, and investor-state dispute settlement. In other words, if there's an issue between the country and the company, can the company take the country to arbitration and not go to the court in that country, which may or may not be completely uninterested in the outcome. These are issues which we are discussing with the TPP participants. We have SOEs, which we must make sure get fair treatment. But at the same time, we also want our companies to get good treatment when they go to other countries and to get fair competition compared to SOEs in those countries. So we are on both sides. In fact, our SOEs are different from other people's SOEs. We don't call them SOEs, we call them GLCs, government-linked companies. And there's a very big difference because the government-linked companies, they don't do the government's bidding. We have shares in them, but they have proper boards. Many of them come under Temasek. Temasek appoints a board. The board oversees the company. And we expect the company to operate properly. We don't give them special perks. We don't ask them to do special duties. So if it's DBS, if it's SIA, if it's Keppel, if it's Sembcorp or Singtel, they are supposed to operate like proper companies. And everybody knows that Singapore GLCs are different from SOEs elsewhere. And I think the Americans know that. And I think in negotiating to protect our position, that's a very important fact which we hope will be taken into account. I can't tell you what the outcome is because it's not settled, but I'm sure that we will be making sure we are protected. ISDS is another issue like that, investor-state dispute settlement. We are not necessarily the ones who are sensitive about investor-state dispute settlement because often we are doing business in another country, and if our companies run into trouble, you want to be able to have some recourse, and you can't always be sure that if you go to the court there, that will solve your problem. So to have ISDS is not necessarily a bad thing, and many of our agreements do have ISDS. But the Europeans have become allergic to this recently, particularly the Germans, because of a specific case, I think with the Americans. And the Americans themselves are also allergic to this, so that's something to be discussed. But don't worry, if you become a diplomat, you will never run out of work solving this kind of problem.
Thank you.